Welcome to Creative Companions. Good morning. It's 11. We're here. All is well. I'm Kim, your constant creative companion. We are on chapter 7 of Polishing the Mirror by Ram Dass. Content to be. Content to be. Content to be. I'm just going to sit here and breathe now. A little hectic getting here. Might have been a little hectic getting here for you. Good morning. Hi, Donna. Whew. So, I'm coming to you live from the Dragonfly today. This is Kimmy Sue in her natural environment. This is my home. This is my little VR, my RV, my VR. That's what River calls it. This is a spot I sit in. I believe in the good things coming. Hangs right there, and then my other living life like it's golden painting. Yeah, so this is just my little spot where I sit in the RV and hang out. And you're in your home there and get your things together. So I've put on something I feel kind of comfortable in, lots of colors. Doing my theme for today is doing something different. Like, let's shake it up some. So I always wear my grandma's opal. I don't know if y'all had noticed, but I decided to wear this today instead, something different. This weight of this feels really nice here. And this beauty was given to me by a beautiful young lady, 19 years old. She made that. And it's my first Grateful Dead piece, like my first Steely. Um, so yeah, and it feels good there. Um, so yeah, get comfortable and get your stuff. I got my paint and my brushes and my water. I've grabbed a little block of wood to paint on. My friend built a deck recently, Bonnie, and Bonnie sliced these for me, and so I'm going to paint on one of these. So if you have something wood to paint on, that's fun. Like, mix it up for yourself. Paint on a different surface, something you haven't painted on before or markered on before. It could be a rock. If all you got's cardboard, all you got's cardboard. If all you got's paper, all you got's paper, you know. But maybe find a different surface. Maybe if you have cardboard, maybe start by painting it a different color than you started with before. Maybe paint it black and then start from there. But we'll get back to that. Get all your things together. I also have my water with me because we're going to be here for an hour. So we need to remember to drink our water, right? We're going to start with some meditation here in a few minutes. I'm going to give you a few more minutes to gather your stuff. I got my good stuff jar here. I'll talk about that for a second. On week 1 of Polishing the Mirror, we made good stuff jars. So if you haven't made a good stuff jar yet, go back and watch week 1. They're on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Art by Kim Keffer. Everything's that. I put up a new video too on YouTube. Me and River did a painting. So there's another me and River video up there. It was really fun. I have fun hanging out with her. That's my granddaughter. She's 7. So the good stuff jar is just a jar, and you make a fancy label how you want, or maybe you paint right on your jar with paint, whatever container it is. And then daily we have been just putting a slip of paper in here with the date on it and something good that happened that day. What happened to me? Ooh, it's 5/11. That's just good in itself. Those are ones. You know how I feel about that. 5/11, I picked up my canvases at Photographics that were provided by the Greater Columbus Arts Council grant I received. So that was a big deal. And so I have fabulous new canvases, and I just got some more. My display is looking better and better, so you got to come check me out. Big things are coming there. So yeah, gather your things together. I guess we'll start meditating in about a minute. I always, part of my painting thing when I'm getting ready to paint and just hang out in my creative space is preparing my palette. And that's a kind of meditation where I'm just breathing and like picking all the old dry paint off the palette. And if y'all know me, you know I make paintballs out of them because the acrylic paint like will roll up for you. I don't know what I just did with my paintball. I did that before I got on air. But yeah, so just get yourself comfortable in your space, and we're going to get ready to do a little breathing meditation. We meditate every week at the beginning of our group, and why do we do that? We do that to come to the present moment, to simply be here now with ourselves, to shake off anything that might be stressing us or bugging our brain, and to just really be comfortable in the here and the now with ourselves and with one another and with this creative process that we're about to undertake together and individually. So if you've been hanging out with us here at Creative Companions, you know we just breathe deeply. Hold that for a second. Exhale deeply. We just keep doing that. And close your eyes if you like. Be comfortable in your seat. Let your body relax. Continue to breathe in and out deeply. Simply notice the sounds around you. Allow them to help you relax more. Feel free to wiggle around, get comfortable. Just be comfortable where you are. Just simply breathing in and out. Thoughts come up, just let them float by. In and out. I am here now. Open your eyes, breathing in and out. Welcome to here now. Nowhere, now here. We are together. It's good to be here. I'm glad you all are here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up for me and showing up for you. I appreciate me. First thing I had highlighted in chapter 7, which is called Content to Be Me, is we're celebrating because it's today and we're together. We're celebrating because it's today and we're together. We meant to recognize the very sacredness of everything, of everything, of everything, with the light coming through the window there. Isn't that pretty? And just the quiet of the fan running and something flapping in the breeze out there. Isn't that pretty? I wonder what you see pretty or hear pretty in your now. Maybe you could share that with me. I'd love to know. I need to remember to scroll down on the comments. So before we start our art, let's just talk about our weekly check-in. You know, our guide is The Artist Way, and in The Artist Way by Julia Cameron, we learn to use our morning pages as a meditation. We can rest on the page. Morning pages is 3 pages of journaling, brain drain. Here's another thing, you know, surround yourself with your friends' art. This is Rayanne and Nichols made this journal. Made the sketch that's on the front of this journal. This is my current journal. So in the morning with your coffee, 3 pages of brain drain. You know, we're really learning to recognize where our minds are and where do our thoughts go in the morning. And sometimes, you know, for me it's like, have I forgotten all that I learned? My self-talk has gotten negative lately. I don't need to say those things out loud that it's been saying, but I'm recognizing. I had a really good 3-day be in the present moment continuous artist date with my granddaughter. I just left her house this morning actually. And so artist dates is the other artist recovery tool that we use. And an artist date is a block of time to just honor your artist self and go do something fun simply for the joy of doing it. And as you know, with Kimmy Sue, this is a hard one for me. And that's what I've been doing lately, is like running myself as if I'm a taskmaster and I'm headed towards some goal and I got to get there fast. So I got all these things I got to do, and whoa, no time to play. Well, I'm going to tell you what, find yourself a little person. If you're doing that to yourself, find yourself a little person and let them plan your day for you. That's what I did with River, and she is so creative. She made this little spinner thing. This was something that we folded so that it would spin, and we had 4 choices on there. Whichever one the pen pointed to, we had to do. So we had make something, paint, make chocolate cake, chocolate zucchini cake, or do nothing. Do nothing. I like that one. I like them all, actually, and we did them all. And the next day she had 2 more, and she let me pick 2 things to put on there. So even if you don't have a little person, you could, your own little person, make a little spinny thing and write on there fun things you could do today, and then give it a spin and do one of those things. So it was a blast, and hanging out with River and doing the things on here and the other things that we did a lot of things. We went to the yard sale, we flew the kite, we did a lot of things. It really kept me in the present moment. However, I would see when I would like slip away from her and go back home to my home, my nest, that my taskmaster would start running me again and tell me all these things I had to do, and I kept having the thought, man, I'm running myself ragged. Let's not do that. Okay, we're gonna rest here together for this next however many minutes. It's 11:11, y'all. All is well. All is well. So for our craft today, drink your water. For our craft today, it's going to be a really free flow thing. You know, I said like bring something little to art on, and bring all your colors and all your tools. I just dumped that. One thing, what did I do with my paint smoke? I do not seem to have one. We'll use a paper towel today. So that's one thing I'm changing up. I usually have a paint smock on, and I don't. But what I'm going to say is, do whatever you want on here. Maybe you want to just do something really tedious and just paint with dots or any shape. You could make a composition by making little flowers or little suns or little moons. You could follow the wood grain if you're using wood to paint on, which is something I really like to do. And River and I did one, and that's what the YouTube that we put up yesterday is about. This one we did. We just followed the wood grain, which happened to be in the shape of a rainbow, so we used rainbow colors. Also made a night sky up there. So I like the night sky thing, and I like to show how to do that. So with my piece of block of wood, I'm going to start by just painting it overall like black and purple and blue, like really dark. So you go ahead and start on yours, and just like with our morning pages, the idea is to silence the sensor and just keep the hand moving. Write down whatever comes up. Same with making art. It's showing up. It's not thinking things up. It's showing up and getting down with the boogie of the making of the art. Getting it down on the page, you know? Like, it's not thinking it up. People think, my paintings get really complicated sometimes, and people look at those and go, wow, like, how did you have all those ideas? One at a time. You do what you know. You know, you show up at the canvas at your art form in your art room for the practice of making your art today. You know, some people need to set a timer for themselves, not because they will take too long, but because they will cheat themselves and quit too soon. You know, could you give yourself an hour a day to meditate for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of it, and then art for the rest? And do you need to set a timer to make that happen? That's okay if you do. Know yourself. Know what your needs are. But just the practice of honoring your artist and taking that self-care. And just like I was noticing this week that my self-talk had gotten pretty negative, telling myself I'm overwhelmed, I can't do it, just really vague things like that. But those are detrimental to my forward motion, and I know that. So I'm recognizing that. I'm also recognizing as my self-talk is a little negative, my self-care overall has suffered. I haven't even been brushing my teeth as much. So it's just a matter of recognizing and then jumping back on board. I've been in the doing the business of art, did a couple shows, and then there's work that needs to be done after that. And doing the business of my art keeps me from my art. So times like this, when I can just hang out with y'all and play, are very important to my recovery, self-discovery, all of it. So I hope you all are doing well, and that you had a good week, and that you got to express yourself, and that that you're just feeling good. It's been hot, but that's okay. So, content to be. We're just being content to be here in the now. And as soon as I paint this block, we'll see what else content to be. Just content to be me. Just content to be yourself, however you are showing up today. And as you see, and as I have learned through being the observer of myself, through this process of journaling and keeping an eye on myself and what, it changes how I am. Day to day, it changes. And it can be a conscious choice of how I want to present myself to the world, and how do I keep in that energy flow of being content to be and happy and positive, also with goals for the future. I don't want to constantly be living in the future and dreams that I have about how I want things to be later in my life, to the extent that I miss the now. I always want to be present for the present moment. So I made that like a blue purple. I have a hard time. There we go. No, I'm getting better and better at this live feed thing, I think. I love your feedback. Let you know. Hopefully you can hear me well today. There at home. I like to paint the whole canvas, so since I'm using a block of wood, I'm going to paint all the sides. I'm doing the edges just black here. I'm going to sit it down after this and let it dry a minute. We have to, when we're doing our creative thing, we have to be willing to make bad art. We have to be willing to be messy. We have to be willing to look ridiculous. So sometimes we do our art in private, so that we can do that until we work it out and we feel ready to show someone. So you don't have to show me the art you make in Creative Companions unless you want to. So I'm going to set that down and let it dry a minute. I just did my edges black and then the front blue and purple. So I'm going to let that dry. Put my brush in the water. And let's get back to celebrating today as we recognize the sacredness of everything, of the creative process that we're doing right now. Contentment is one of the mindsets you use to direct your consciousness towards oneness. So just being content in the here and now. In this moment, I have all that I need. I have all that I desire in this moment. This moment. Yes, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and all is well. So we just turn our attention inward and learn to listen to the dance of our soul and who we are here in this moment. It never stops. It's ever changing. And then he's going to talk about, we discover that we go from roles to souls. We act out roles of who we are, who we think we are as a mother and friend and whatever our roles are. But what we're awakening to is our heart. We'll call that our soul. Language from there. And when that expresses through art, and that's what we're here encouraging one another to do, and being creative companions for one another. I believe in you. You can do the thing. Yeah. get back to painting a minute and just be here. I am just here. Burrow into this moment. Here we are in the moment. Just a moment, please. I think I need to read this part. I started reading it backwards. This is just a moment, please. When we drop down into this moment, not back then, not the future, this moment right here, we get deeper and deeper and deeper into the universal heart of being. Finally, being in the moment blossoms into everything and nothing. It's all in this moment. This moment is always here. Now is eternal. That's the only thing that's real is now. That's me saying that. So the joy you get from being completely in the moment brings contentment. Contentment as a practice is different from satisfaction. It's not a feeling of accomplishment from doing something. Contentment is just being complete in the moment. Take a deep breath if you forgot you were breathing. Breathing in and out. You're just here now. I'm just here now. Conscious awareness. If something is taking me out of the moment, you can ask, what am I doing here now? What is it that's blocking my contentment? Good question. So just learning to just be here now. Just be here and be content in the now. That's all you need. So, I am going to just do a little demonstration night sky thing for giving you some inspiration as you work on your own painting project. If you want, this is a fun way. Different ways to apply the paint, maybe than you've tried in the past, are fun. So I'm going to make this a night sky and get a stiffer brush here that I can flick the paint with and just put some white on there and then put that and flick some. Oh, look at that. That shows up good. So flick some stars here all over this. I haven't done that other side yet, but I'll get to it. You know, and just like I was saying, in a painting and in life, you just do the next right thing. You do, or whatever you think, whatever you feel, you think up next. You know, like stare at the canvas and go, what do I do? And then I'm going to drag some of these to make them look, to give it that movement. Oh, they don't drag real good on wood. And that's the fun thing about painting or doing your art on a different surface or using a different brush than you're used to. You'll find out that things work differently than they did on the cardboard or on the canvas. So you have to kind of alter what you're doing. Maybe you need to add more water. I'm also going to make just a white circle down here, and to make a perfect circle with a flat brush, just push it down and spin it round. I'm going to go the other way now. Smooth that out a little bit. I feel like it's becoming like a little character there, a little chubby little character with little wings and little, fat butt. I thought it was going to be the moon, but it looks like it's going to be some fuzzy little character. So it's just so fun, the creative process. You know, you show up, there's a blank piece of whatever in front of you, in this case a blank piece of wood, and we have really no idea. We can't foresee what's going to be on there when we're done. Because at some point, it takes on a life of its own. You know, I showed up to this little piece of wood in y'all today. No clue. Kind of had to make a mad dash and drive an hour. And, you know, that's the other thing, is trying to train myself and tell myself that I can do things the easy way. I don't always have to struggle. I don't have to make things hard for myself. I don't have to wait till the last minute to do things, which causes me anxiety. I'm just playing around doing some brushing, dry brushing on there. Like make that look like my character's in some kind of tunnel or something. I don't know. Now, you may play with only those colors that you've put on your palette, or you may load your palette with all the colors and keep going. But indeed, just keep breathing in and out and keeping your hand moving and see what you create. See what you make today. See what's on there at the end of this hour. Sometimes it's fun to intermittently take a photograph with your phone of your art as you go, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to take one right now. You can grab your phone and take a picture of your art right now and send it to me, and post it in the comments if you want to, if it'll let you. I don't know. Or share it later. I'm just going to take one just for the record of what, because it looks cute, like a little, I don't know, fat Frosty maybe, chubby Frosty. My son liked Frosty the Snowman a lot. Okay, all you need is, so if I'm in my heart space, when I look at others, all I see is love and souls in their heart space. Individual differences melt away. Yes. We treat love and hate and other emotions like they're all on the same level, but they're not. Hate, fear, lust, greed, jealousy, all that comes from the ego, from clinging to things, in my opinion. Love comes from our heart space. You can feel it there. So I'm going to read this quote from Meher Baba, Life at its Best. Learning the art of taking your stand on the truth within. When you live in this truth, the result is the fusion of the mind and the heart, and the end of all fears and sorrows. It's not a dry attainment of mere power or intellectual knowledge. A love which is illuminated by the intuitive wisdom of the Spirit will bless your life with ever-renewing fulfillment and never-ending sweetness. You can stay in touch with your heart by just dwelling in the present moment. One of my favorite words is Ananda, A-N-N-A-N-D-A. Ananda. Ananda is how I like to say it, and I'm not sure how to say it, but it means eternal bliss. And the way that we can experience eternal bliss is just finding the good in the present moment. Look around your present moment now and look for the good. This is always one of my mantras. Look for the good. Look for the good in the now. It's always there. And surrender into the now. Everything is as it should be. You go inside for peace, compassion, wisdom, joy, love. It's all within you. And meditation is I am loving awareness. I am lovingly aware. Loving awareness is one loving awareness. Loving awareness is in everyone. Everyone is in loving awareness. Everyone's inside this bubble of loving awareness. You're an individual, but you're also part of the whole. We're all individuals with an individual voice. And like I like to remind us all is if we don't use that voice, it never exists. So we need to, in being loved now, we're honoring the light in all of us. I'm going to grab a little brush. So we're just honoring the light that is us, living like we're having a heart-centered journey, which is not the way we are trained. But in the end, don't you think that is what matters? The love we've shared and the lives we've touched? Yeah. So, that's what I am loving awareness. Breathing in and out. We don't have to think, we don't have to worry. When the time comes, we know exactly what to do. What's the next right thing, and the next right thing, and the next right thing. Stretch your legs if you need to. Take a breath. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all of its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. So let the sun shine on your face. Just be here now. There's a really good song I highly recommend that you listen to. It's called You Were Born by Cloud Cult. Um, give it a listen. I like that, like those kind of, in our self-talk, add those as love songs to ourselves. And that's how I like to think of that song, You Were Born. Look at this cute little character I'm making. Let me see. Look. He gave it a little face and a little smile. And its butt. So its head's on backwards or something, but isn't it cute? We'll see what it turns into. Just keep going. Just keep going. Yeah. So, like the song says, you were born, you begin to just love people because they are. You see the mystery of life in motion. Everywhere you look, and you see love. And you start looking through the eyes of love and the eyes of wisdom as we get further on down this trail. When we rest together in loving awareness, we swim together in an ocean of love. It's always right here and available. You can enter into that flow with a quiet mind and see all things as part of yourself. And remember some of those meditations that we've done on this journey together in Creative Companions that remind us that of the oneness. I think I'm feeling like a swirl here. You know, and we just let our artist do what it needs to do. When we show up to our canvas or our musical instrument with a commitment, maybe a newfound commitment as of a beginner, reclaim that passion that you had as a youth about making things. I mean, yeah, with River, it's what are we going to make today? It's been the question. We've been hanging out, River and I, for 7.5 years now, and the question is, what are we going to make today? And yeah, so today I'm just making a little painting with you. We're going to see what happens. I encourage you to use positive affirmations to help change your self-talk. So for me, I've been saying to myself, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed. So how do I counter that? I can do the thing, everything in its time. I can do the things joyfully. Yeah, so we think about like changing up what it is. I mean, it simply could be I can. I think that's all. On this piece of art, I'm just going to write I can. Nana nana boo boo. Not even. I can joyfully do the thing. It's all good. Not I think I can, just I can. Yes. So, I like making these little art messages, keeping them around my living space where I read them on the regular. I can. Be here now. Love now. That's over by the door. And then I realize when I have these in my space where I can read them on the regular, the people who visit my space get to read these positive messages. And maybe it affects their life or their now, their world. And they remember. Remember that time? So remember that time you felt joyful and positive and wonderful? Just recreate that feeling for yourself. Everything's going so well. We're just here to have fun. You don't have to be nervous. So far I wrote I can, and I have that. See where it says I can up there? Look at that little person. Like, yeah. So I have his hands, that's a her. Her hands are out to the side like this. She's open to receive. Yes. So you're on an inevitable course to your dreams coming true. You can't get further away from it. You can only get closer to it. And you just take one step at a time and know that you can. You know, we need to give ourselves credit for the accomplishments that we do make. I just did those. I did 2 shows recently, and it was a lot of work, and I did it. But instead, I've been saying to myself, well, I can't do it again. It's too hard. Well, I did it, and I had fun doing it. Yes, I did. And I will do it again soon, and I will have more help next time. And all is well. And right here, right now, I'm just making little squiggles with the purple and white paint. And it was fun to just sit and play with different brushes. And we don't give our art like a deadline. When's it going to be done? It's going to be done when I look at it and go, oh, yeah, there you go. You know. Now, we also, all as artists, have those boxes and drawers of half-finished art. I think I have about 5 paintings in progress right now. But you'll get back to those things when the time is right. For right now, you're just doing this thing, no judgment. We're learning not to judge ourselves and not to judge our early art and our early attempts. We're learning new things, trying new things. And just being here with yourself might be really new. You know, for me it is sometimes. It's easy to go off in fantasy land and be thinking about the scary future that we make up in our head or the trauma from the past. Really for me, this book is helping, and as does this Creative Companions, to remind me to just stay in the present moment. Here now. Ah, yes. Thank you. Shanti, peace, love, joy, bliss. Shanti Bhakti Ananda, says April. That's beautiful. So loving in the now. When we're outside of time, there's no subject or object. It's all just here. The thinking mind thinks only with subject and object. But from within here now, you can just watch time go by. You're not being in time. You be, and the time goes by, as if you were standing on a bridge and watching it all go by. So as you be here now with me doing this thing, some time has passed. Only 37 minutes that we've been together now. So, keep your hand moving on the page. Maybe you're tired of this side is dry and you want to move to the other side and do something different. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to brighten it up on the other side. And, I think I'm going to go with that gold yellow I've been liking lately. And I also bought a new yellow that I haven't used yet. So I think I'll use it. That's the other thing. Change up the color schemes that you're working with. Sometimes if you're into like the idea of chakras and healing your chakras and balancing all of that, you might want to make sure that you work with each color. Or if you're having problems in an area, make a painting in specifically that color. If you're working on using your voice, for example, the throat chakra is blue, so paint with blue. If you're working on, let's say I'm working on shining my light brighter, then let's paint with yellow and white. Again, back to what we started with in treating everything like it's sacred, and your artist is a sacred, unique being that has a lot to express. So in Creative Companions, we're also talking a lot about using what you have available in the now to create with, instead of sitting around thinking about what you would create only if you had the perfect tools. If we wait to have the perfect tools in the perfect circumstances, I could use a bigger space to create in, for sure, but I got the whole world in every park and field I go to, right? Piece of woods. But yeah, if we wait for the perfect thing, we may never get to it. So what could you create today? And then in honoring our artist and that as an entity that's here to create, daily, like really honoring what did you create today? What if you gave yourself that as a what do you want to say, a goal to add to your self-care, to create daily and keep history of those creations. Make yourself a portfolio, or document your work simply on your phone by photographing it. Keep it all in the same place. Just even like the Artist Way, we did the 12 weeks first, and at the end of those 12 weeks I put together all 12 weeks of art that we had created. It was beautiful to see it all together, and it felt like such an accomplishment. If I hadn't shown up for myself weekly, it wouldn't exist. So it's about showing up for yourself and just doing the thing. So look, I made this side completely different, bright, and it went from yellow to green there. And then I got this side that says I can. So I'm going to keep working on this side, or playing at this side. So you just breathe. I'm going to read you a couple paragraphs here. Ours is a journey toward simplicity, toward quietness, toward a kind of joy that is not in time. In this journey out of time to now here, we are leaving behind every model we have had of who we thought we were, or who we thought we were supposed to be. This journey involves a transformation of our being so that our thinking mind becomes our servant rather than our master. It's a journey that takes us from primary identification with our psyche to identification with our hearts and souls, and ultimately beyond identification at all and just till peaceful waters. That's me talking. This life is an incredible curriculum in which we live richly and passionately as a way of awakening to the deepest truths of our being. Wow. As a soul, I live in the moment. In each rich and precious moment, I am fulfilled with contentment. So just being here now and being content. I am content in the now is what I'm going to write. On the other side, on this side, I am content. What color do I want to write it in? That dark green. Where's my dark green? And take your time. Maybe we want to write it in purple. What color is this? No, that's gray. It's light blue. Yeah, take your time selecting your colors. Take your time I'm going to go with a brownish red, it seems. Take your time selecting your colors. There is no right or wrong. Silence the chatter in your mind and just breathe in and out and express visually for the moment. What did I say I was going to write on here? I am content. Content now. I am. However I want to write it. I am content in the now. And this idea of meditating and just being present with yourself and checking in and feeling what it feels like to be here now with yourself. Often in this life that we live, there's a lot of hustle bustle, but there's also a lot of opportunities where we have to wait. We have to wait in line at the grocery store. We have to wait in line to pick up our kids or whatever. We're sitting waiting in our car, and we often become frustrated or even angry when the idea of having to wait. So instead we could change that up in our consciousness. We're never waiting. It's just an opportunity to be with ourselves and meditate. Maybe keep your journal right there with you, and you can doodle, write some stuff down, stare into space and see what beautiful things you see. Look for the good in the now that you're in, instead of feeling frustration. I don't desire to be in a state of annoyance or irritation or frustration. I don't like those experiences. I don't like to be in that state. So I am content here now with myself, with all of you. How do you spell content? C-O-N-T-E. I like that it has the word tent in it too. Maybe I'll draw a tent on here. So being content is different than being satisfied. You know, as creative people, we're always seeking new satisfactions. You know, we finish one piece of art and it just moves us on to the next. So we're not seeking satisfaction, we're seeking contentment and just being okay with what is. Radical acceptance. I'm content now. I'll show you my art here in a second. Just keeping your hand moving on that canvas and seeing what you create today. And I wonder if being in Creative Companions, what differences you might have noticed in your life. And maybe you're creating something new. Maybe you've gone back to an art form that you haven't done for a long time. I'd love to hear. I've been a little... There we go. I am content now. Maybe I'll make another little character on this side. Always smiling. So again, I'm just kind of following the wood grain what I have here, and there's kind of like, if I look in that same spot that I had the little character on the other side of this piece of wood, I see here, oh, there's a little character here too. Kind of a bird looking kind of thing, maybe. I don't know. I'll show you in a second. It's kind of like doodling. Everybody doodles, right? So it's like purposeful doodling. Instead of doing it when you're on the phone or something, like purposefully choosing time in your day to journal or doodle or play your guitar. We get so busy, and we do need to assign time to have fun sometimes, and recognizing when we are working ourselves too much and not taking time to have fun. The fun that we have feeds our creative self, and maybe that's where new ideas come from. Look at that little guy. Look. I'm going to make those letters stand out a little more, maybe with some highlights. Here's the other side. I can do the thing. Breathing in and out. We're just practicing, which takes us to chapter 8 in Polishing the Mirror, which we'll be reading this week. Practicing. So we'll just be practicing all we learn and polishing the mirror of our fine selves. Learning to take better care of ourselves and love ourselves more and more and show up for ourselves. I hope we all have a great week. I'm going to just add some highlights here. If you are painting with me and you want a little pointer, always one thing I like to do at the end of the painting is bring in some more light and add some highlights. So I'm like going on my letters. See how much it stands out more once I put that highlight on. So I'm just putting some white with a dryish brush off to the side of the letters just to make them stand out more. So everybody know you're not alone. We're all here for each other. We can comment and have a conversation. Don't feel alone. Shine your light. Create something. Feel good. Find what feels good today and all week long. Take care of yourself. Love yourself more and more and more. Can you be just content to be today? It's Sunday. You don't have work stuff, hopefully, to do. And can you be content to just be, just hang out with yourself, with your people? Maybe make something with your people. One creative thing we do together as humans that feels good to do is cook something together, then eat together. Oh, dropped my book. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Take some deep breaths with me now. You can do the thing. Find contentment in the now. Peace out. Love yourself more and more this week. See you next week.